Yes. Oh my god, what a callback to a SCP that I really liked. So, we got Escobar, which is an author that actually has written a bunch of SCP. It's just that we never shout them out until like with 2780, which was the first one we shouted out, even though they have written like I would say 20 SCPs before that. A lot in series 2. The last one we had from the Escobar was 2780, which was I really like this idea. It was basically two people that lived in the same building, but one was in the far future, one was in the present, and they kind of like exchanged like information, and like I believe the one from the present was sending in medicine by burning them in the garden, while the person from the future was able to talk to the one in the past. It was such a cool like idea because like it was saying like how in the future a lot of things doesn't exist anymore, especially like medicine stuff, and that's why the person in the present was giving them stuff. And like it's a very cool SCP which will come out next month. Yeah, I really like that one. So the two last ones will be sci-fi themed because they were SCP 2000 contest entries. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I'm down. Escobar, you wrote Anomalous transmission 2485 megahertz. And here we go. Now, I believe Howard has said that this one is a new set. It is like very long. It's like 8K of that comes from 2988, which is a contest winner, so they're pretty long. Yeah, makes sense. Here we go. Notice from the Foundation Records and Information Security Administration. Wow, 1,500 upvotes. Damn. This document has been noted to contain an unusually resilient info hazard that has resisted all efforts to eliminate it. Any attempt to access SCP-2998 documentation forces users to sequentially access a series of untrue and misleading iteration of that documentation. Please sequence through these files. You will be notified when you have reached the correct documentation. We apologize for the inconvenience. Maria Jones, Director, Riser. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. The Foundation has modified radio frequency and electronics manufacturing standards worldwide to avoid civilian production of devices capable of receiving SCP-2998. Internet, radio, and print communications monitoring efforts by relevant Foundation department are to be alert for images or descriptions relating to SCP-2998. The frequency on which SCP-2998 is broadcast is to be monitored regularly for any change in SCP-2998 content. All extraterrestrial vessels and probes are to be modified covertly to include equipment designed to monitor for the presence of SCP-2998 off-world. Research to determine the source of SCP-2998 and the background behind its content is to continue as a Class 6 priority effort. Description: SCP-2998 is an electromagnetic signal with a constant frequency of 2,485 MHz. Its power and origin cannot be determined. The signal appears to be invariably present at all locations throughout the known solar system. The signal was believed initially to be an anomalous but innocuous white noise present at the frequency. Minor variances suggested the presence of some other information within the signal, but no means to decode SCP-2998 were developed until 2011. The signal was found to contain a digital video transmission with a monaural track. The video appears to depict a humanoid entity of an unknown species floating in a dark room. While no context is provided for the image, the reflexive body language and high-pitched noises being emitted by the entity seem to suggest it is in extreme physical distress. No entities have been seen within the video feed and no external source of harm has been noted. However, certain features within the image suggest that some sort of abnormal telekinetic phenomena are occurring. The entity frequently appears to be pushed or moved, and brief images of background objects within the room suggest that some gravitational field is present, implying the entity mid-air position is not due to zero gravity conditions and the entity is being held in place by an unknown force. Addendum A. SCP-2998 has been theorized to contain additional information that has yet to be decoded. Some components of the TV signal currently appear as noise by Foundation decoding techniques. Several researchers involved with SB298 have concluded that this would not be expected given the complexity of the encoding and transmission technologies behind SB298. Current theories include three-dimensional stereoscopic data, some kind of expunged neural activity. Next iteration. Okay, so I guess we just read the blue stuff now. This document revised SB 12 first 14 new information highlighted in blue. Wait a minute, was it Euclid before? It was safe before. Ah! I fucking knew it! I thought I knew it! I thought I knew it! Okay, so now we got additional personnel and D-class are in special containment procedures. We have additional personnel and D-class are to be exposed to the signal associated with SB298 in order to determine eligibility for Project Rosetta and permanent assignment to SB298. And then we have research to determine the source of SB298 and the background behind its content is to continue as a Class 2 priority effort. Description. Let's read. There's a signal. Its power and origin cannot be determined. The signal appears to be invariably present at all locations throughout the known solar system. The signal seems to lack a single point of origin. Rather, current analysis suggests SB298 is being broadcast with a power of 1.86 megawatts, which is combination with the large coverage area of SB298 suggests that multiple did expunged in size. And then we have actually let's read the rest because that blue sentence is connected to the regular sentence. The signal was believed initially to be an anomalous but innocuous white noise present at its frequency. Minor variances suggest the presence of some other information within the signal, but no means to decode SB298 were developed until 2011, and more complete methods of determining SB298's full content have been developed since. And now we can skip this part. Addendum A. Current theories include three-dimensional stereoscopic data, some kind of data expunge neural activity. Theory confirmed. Please see Addendum B for further information. Addendum B. While no mechanical or technological means have yet been devised for decoding the data within SB298 previously considered extraneous incidents beta and epsilon have revealed that certain humans possess unusual neurological traits, presently believed to be an abnormal nerve bundle connecting Rodman areas 41 and 42 to the dorsal amygdala, that allow them to perceive additional information output from SB298 in the form of simulated emotional connections. A full transcript of the debriefing of affected personnel D099238 and D398398 has been classified level 4. Access to these documents may be granted at the discretion of designation disclosure officers. And then we have here a SB298 reclassified as Euclid as of 22nd 12th 2013 on authority of 0511. Next iteration. So I assume, yeah, so this was what was blue before, right? Yeah. Still Euclid. Additionally, personnel and D-class are to be exposed to the original associated with to the signal associated with SB298 in order to determine eligibility for Project Rosetta and permanent assignment to SB298. No other methods has thus far been developed of determining the presence of a functional Rosetta cluster in humans. Well, unique concept for an SCP. I always like when the blue text add more stuff, because sometimes it reveals things that were hidden before, and sometimes it gives more information. Yeah, no, I think it's also, by the way, this document revised 30th 4th 2014. So it's been like it was 2013 before. Additional, this is also special containment procedures. They're all part of the special containment procedures. Additionally, individuals determined by the Rosetta positive are to be exposed to SB298 for at least 12 hours of every day followed by debriefing to gather more intelligence regarding SCP-2998 and the species responsible for its generation. Research to determine more information regarding the source of SCP-2998 and further background behind its content is to continue as a Class 2 priority effort. And I used the word unique in the right way as well. Yeah, this is like a more user-friendly version of the SCP-2996 gimmick. Yeah, I mean, I like both. It's just something I never actually thought about to look back at the previous iteration like that. And this is like a similar concept. Now in the description we have here a whole new fucking addition to this paragraph. The signal seems to lack a single point of origin. Rather, current analysis suggests SCP-2998 is being broadcast with a power of 1.86 megawatts, which is a combination with a large coverage area of SCP-2998 suggests that the signal is being broadcast in a fashion that transcends four-dimensional space, emerging into conventional space in a three-dimensional grid pattern with transmission points spaced approximately 3 meters apart. As the signal has been found to be ubiquitous by every receiver capable of detecting it both on and off Earth, it is presently believed that SCP-2998 may be broadcasting throughout the universe simultaneously. And a whole new paragraph here, god damn, and some red text, Jesus! In addition to the video and audio tracks, an additional component of the signal is part of an addendum? No, it's still a description. Of the signal is perceivable only by individuals possessing a specific abnormal nerve bundle connecting Broadman areas 41 and 42 to the dorsal amygdala in the temporal lobe of the brain. Individuals possessing the nerve bundle report hearing an unusual high-pitched sound alongside the monaural audio of SCP-2998, then begin experiencing a form of mesial temporal lobe epilepsy characterized by complex partial seizures. During seizures, affected individuals begin speaking in a form of glossolalia, speaking near constantly without any apparent meaning. The seizures will continue as long as the individual is exposed to SCP-2998. Audio track, the glossolalia will develop over time into more coherent messages. The nerve bundle has been nicknamed the Rosetta Cluster by Foundation Medical Research Division due to the ability of individuals in possession of it to translate the signals otherwise indecipherable components. Both individuals thus far found to be in possession of the Rosetta Cluster have retained some memories from their experiences. Addendum A, the briefings of Rosetta positive personnel after initial exposure to SCP-2998. So here we go. Interview 298 Beta, the briefing of D0923A by Foundation Intelligence Interrogation Specialist Steven Centra. Yeah, this is whole fully new. Could you describe your experiences with SCP-2998? They brought me in to clean the room. One guy, a researcher I guess, sitting on watching TV. I didn't know what he was watching. I figured it was some weird shit. Didn't pay much attention to it. It was my first time, you know. I just started sweeping when I got this hot feeling like a fever. I sort of felt myself falling, but I didn't feel the ground. What did you experience during your seizure? They told me there was a seizure afterwards. It was more like one of those dreams you have when you had a kid, you know? When you're really sick and they give you NyQuil or something. It was like real life, but everything was just huge all around me. I can't remember remember a lot of details. During your episode, you repeated certain phrases several times. May I ask if you recall any of them in particular? You can, sure, but I doubt I can help. During moments when the SCP-2998 entity was silent, you were heard to say, "All glory Adidal, all glory Adidal," somewhat quietly, several times. What does all glory Adidal, all power, all fall before Adidal, all light bends, all sound spreads, all glory? I remember some of what it was. It wasn't like seeing or hearing so much, it was just a feeling. I felt something large, so large above me, all around me. I was looking at the universe with a sort of... It was this feeling, like when you have plants inside a windowsill, yeah? You see them growing and you feel like you have a part in it, but it's just so beneath you, so small. It was the way you feel when you're a kid and you do something cute and you watch your dad smile at you. Subject was silent for several minutes. And then I heard something, and then I heard the screaming. The sound they told me was coming from the TV. It was loud, so loud in my head. Could you understand what the creature was saying? Ruhar. Excuse me? The subject's eyes unfocused, the subject's voice became slurred. The curse was known as Ruhar before its crime. It's no sound, but it knows no sound but screams. The 09238 experienced nasal hemorrhage and lost consciousness at this point. And then we have interview Epsilon, the briefing of D398398 by Foundation Intelligence and Derivation Specialist Steven Centra. Okay. Note. The 398398 Rosetta cluster was noted as being slightly more developed than that of the 09238. Could you describe your experience with SCP-2998? I was brought in as part of a focus group, I guess. They brought all the D-class from outside and in groups of 10. Remind me of the lineup. They turned on the TV and showed us what was going on. How did you react to the images on the TV? It was like I got drunk all at once. Super fast. I felt myself falling to the ground. And then it wasn't like anything, but if you had to put it, it was like if you went to a 3D movie in Japanese or something. Something where you don't speak the language, but it has this perfect surround sound, and you can feel and smell and taste it too. That's what I was seeing. But everyone looking at the TV, what they're seeing is like if you shot the movie with a camcorder and played it on the TV, and then shot the TV with a cell phone camera. Everyone was looking at the TV and saw the cell phone video, and I think I was the only one who was following the plot. I was the only one who could see the subtitles. What is the plot? What were you seeing? I could tell I wasn't seeing in the way one of them would see it, but I understood it in some of the terms we would use. I saw this movie about this guy, this big shot guy like Capone. A shot caller, somebody with that kind of power where you can't even imagine how far he can reach. I keep calling it a he, but I don't think they got men and women like we do. And along comes this other guy in the neighborhood. If the first guy is like Capone, this is somebody who wants to be Bugs Moran, right? Challenge the big man on the block. Prove he ain't all he says he is. But this wannabe guy, he knows he'd be crazy going after Capone guy himself, right? So he goes after the guy's family, hopes to find a message. What did he do? That part, it got sort of fuzzy. I don't think we have an idea in any language we have for what these people can do to each other when they want somebody else to be hurt the way this guy did it. It wasn't just physical. It wasn't just psychological. Alright, me? Oh. I don't even think it fits into space and time the way we understand it. But this guy goes after Capone, let's say wife, and maybe whatever they have instead of kids too. And this Capone, I can't remember his name. Was it Adidal? Adidal knows all and sees all. All praise to Adidal that knows us. All praise to Adidal that sees us. All glory. Subject pauses. Subject's head begins to sag, but lifts up. A small trickle of blood drips from the subject's nose. I'm sorry. It comes over me sometimes. I don't think it leaves you once you see it, but anyway, the Capone guy decides he wants to send a message of his own. Only not to the one person. He's gonna keep this person, he's gonna keep this poor bastard alive and suffering forever. And right out in public. No legends, no words of mouth. He wants the evidence available for anyone to see. Anyone who even thinks about going up against him. Do you have any information about Ruhar? The curse was known as Ruhar before its crime. It knows no sound but screams. Subject breathing intensifies, but subject remains conscious. The blood coming from the subject's nose intensifies. Can you elaborate at all? Is Ruhar the individual in the transmission? The accursed was known as Ruhar before its crime. Eternal shall be its suffering. It shall suffer when all light in the cosmos grow dark. It shall suffer when all life in this cosmos lies dead. It shall suffer when all time in this cosmos run down. Its suffering will be true when there is no truth. The subject loses consciousness. Interview ends. And we have this is not the end yet. Next iteration. God, this is a long one. Jesus Christ. Neutralized though. Okay. But there's still a next iteration afterwards. Has been okay. SCP-298 has been reclassified as neutralized as of the 20th 3rd, 2016, after over 18 months of non-transmission of the anomalous signal carried thereupon. Efforts are to be continued to locate and recapture all escaped Site 83 personnel, currently numbering 8 D-class individuals, all of whose connection to SCP-298 is considered relevant at this time. Speculative in procedures, version 3.3, 30th. The Foundation has modified radio frequency and electronic manufacturing standards worldwide to avoid the real production of the device capable of receiving. Yeah, this is still the same, right? Additional personnel and declared exposed to. Yeah. The frequency of which SCP is broadcast in money change content. Additional interest. Yeah. We read, this is what we read before. Description was identified as an electromagnetic signal with a constant frequency of. Yeah. It's an electromagnetic signal. Its power of ocean cannot be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We found the by every SCP was received. Yeah, the signal was believed initially to be anomalous, but it was what? No, we read that already. The signal was found to be containing digital video transmission. Yeah, we read that. In addition to video and audio tracks. Yeah, we read that part. And this is just the interviews we had before. Yes, but we have addendum B, incident 298 setup, that is new. On the 11th 9th 2014, researchers noticed unusual activity from the transmission feed. The alien humanoid depicted on the SCP-298 transmission ceased exhibiting signs of physical distress for an extended period of time. While this was a typical and expected component of the feed, this quiet period continued for much longer than was usual. During the quiet period, the 8 D-class individuals being exposed to SCP-298, in accordance with Project Rosetta, experienced simultaneous tonic-clonic seizures. Event that has... I never heard of tonic-clonic. Events that had not been previously noted by SCP-298 researchers. The alien humanoid remained seemingly unconscious for several minutes after the D-class were removed from the room. The broadcast ceased shortly thereafter. It is really long but pretty good. It ranked high in the 2000 content. No, it is pretty good. I like it. During transfer to Medical Site 47, all 8 D-class individuals successfully overwhelmed the lightly armed transport team while feigning unconsciousness and fled Foundation custody. The 8 individuals displayed an unusual amount of cooperation during the escape attempt, given that none of the D-class had been permitted to speak to one another during the time of SCP-298, and none are believed to have known one another at any point prior to the assignment to SCP-298. Additionally, SCP Medical Division had theorized that continued SCP-298 exposure had caused partial gross motor deficiencies due to neural atrophy. Recapture and interrogation of the 8 D-class personnel is considered a Class 3 priority efforts. And then we have another iteration. Is this a final iteration? No. Fuck. SCP-298 level 4 access only. SCP-298 also... Am I high, or wasn't it like 1501? Did one of you little guys give it another upload while I was reading this? SCP-298 reinstated and reclassified Keter on the 15th 12 2016. This documentation published 11th 2nd 2017. This document is for consumption by level 4 personnel, and above details of this document are not to be disclosed to lower level personnel without prior approval. Keter. So containment of Dash A is not currently considered possible with available technology. Foundation efforts are to be concentrated on planetary defenses as first priority. Foundation research is developing theoretical means of offensive measures against Dash A for containment. Maybe I did, who knows? Okay, gotcha. For containment Dash B is not possible at present with available technology. Propaganda efforts are to be made to discourage, this is fully new now, to discourage use of technology that requires reception of electromagnetic signals, including radio, television. Well, this part is like still similar, but Operation Blackout is currently under consideration as a more complete containment method of Dash B. Level 5 personnel are permitted access to document Delta, containing details of Operation Blackout. All Foundation facilities listed as prior to or higher to begin preparation for Operation Blackout. All Foundation facilities listed as priority 3 or lower are to begin preparation for evacuation or abandonment of the facilities. See document Omicron for lists of SB items considered eligible for summary. Decommissioning in the event that the transfer reduces the efficiency of evacuation efforts. Civilians believed to be Dash C instances are to be terminated on site by any Foundation personnel. Behavior indicative of Dash C instances include periodic gross motor deficiency, advanced cooperation between individuals throughout verbal communication, just like the D classes. Unusual. Oh my. I also need to check something. Unusual but frequent hemorrhaging and any questionable use of the word Adidal. Foundation personnel suspected of Dash B infection are to be detained until thorough interrogation or examination can be conducted. Unit and site commanders are to have complete jurisdictional authority over the subordinates with regards of Dash C containment and suppression. Decisions made in this area are not subject to external review. All lower levels of Foundation personnel are to be provided with documents containing need-to-know information for operational use, along with RISA designated propaganda intended to improve morale. All levels are to believe the operational documents present the highest levels of informational awareness. Description: SCP-2998 identifies all anomalous phenomena associated with the 12/12/2016 extraterrestrial incursion into translunar space. Dash A describes the alien object occupying the Earth-Moon L5 position. The object consists of 512 spheroidal parts linked to a cylindrical central axis by flexible tethers. The propulsion method of the object is unknown. The object appears to be obscuring its own energy output, though each of the parts seem to propel themselves independently of but in conjunction with the central axis. Whether the object is manned, controlled remotely, or operating with an autonomous AI is unknown. Dash B describes all electromagnetic signals emitting from Dash A. These signals often vary in frequency, amplitude, and wavelength and may be transmitted either as broadcast or narrowband signals. The common features appear to be the alien origin and the purpose, which is to create instances of Dash C. Dash B signals have been transmitting along most of the frequencies and wavelengths used by human technology, including radio, television, Wi-Fi, cellular telephone, and GPS devices. Dash C describes all humans that have been exposed to Dash B and are operating under the control or influence of Dash A. Dash C instances comprise approximately 3,400 individuals at last estimate, not including 5,238 individuals captured or terminated by Foundation authorities. That's a lot. Dash C appear to possess a series of motivations, including the Deluxe Sponge C document. The fuck is that? BL? No. That's not a B. Or is it? No, it's like, I'm not sure what that is supposed to be. But it's right there, document. I'm just gonna call it BL because it looks like a BL. I might be wrong though. 5 instances of -C have been captured alive in the 2 months since the alien incursion to the time of this writing. 3 of these instances were able to commit suicide through various improved means, frequently using the teeth or nearby objects. One of these instances was uncooperative and succeeded in destroying her vocal apparatus and causing herself sufficient brain damage to render her uncommunicative. -C Gamma was successfully captured and transferred to Site 203 for interrogation. The following interview was conducted by containment specialist Barbara Whitman. No intelligence retrieval technicians were available to conduct the interview. Okay, so we have it's a Cyrillic letter. Oh, okay. Containment specialist Whitman, okay. Can you enter your name into the record? The subject is bleeding heavily from the nose and in ears, though no cause for the bleeding was ascertained. No name you what we. Body shell. Name it not no name we. Can you describe the function of the object in orbit around our planet? No planet you. Planet bleeding intensifies. Planet Adidal. You. Adidal. Al Adidal. Adidal you praise. Adidal you praise will. Adidal all praise will. Can you describe the reason for your entry into our solar system? No solar system. You. Solar system. Adidal. Al Adidal. Why are you here? Darkness here. Scum here. It Adidal hurt here. It Adidal hurt come back. It Adidal hurt more. It Adidal hurt all time. Adidal make Ruhar hurt. Ruhar is here? How? No name we. Sometimes body we. Sometimes thought we. Idea we. Ruhar idea make here. Ruhar idea in one here. Again, how is a fugitive here? Adidal Ruhar hurt. Adidal Ruhar hurt. Make idea not make out. Make out other place. Ruhar idea not leave. You, blood begins emitting from tear ducts. You make Ruhar leave. You look Ruhar. Think in you. Think in you good idea us live. Ruhar want us. Ruhar live into you. We live into you. We Ruhar look will. We Ruhar find will. You in way we forget. You forget us? What does that mean? Idea you we forget. Idea you we make forget. You in way. We idea you make forget. Make forget all time. No idea you remember. We make you gone. We make you no place. Site 203 was attacked and overwhelmed by -3 instances 4 hours after the conclusion of the interview. Then we have document Delta Operation Blackout. Details of Operation Blackout restricted to level 5. Okay. Delta relative electromagnetic pulse hardness of Foundation sites. Also restricted by level 5. Raw relative radiation preparedness of Foundation sites. Also restricted. And then document Upsilon positive environment impact of Operation Blackout. Also restricted, which I assume. Oh my god. There's so many iterations. This is forever. Heed now all true souls and most high words of your chaplain regarding the enemy. I mean, I already took a sip just a moment ago, but sure. Prayers given first for absolution. Documentarians of the True Foundation are forced by technical restrictions to use the impure templates of an organization preceding the cleansing. Focus your hearts on the content of the message. Do not allow the heresies of the impure dead to influence you. Report any such influence to your local spiritual chaplain's office. This knowledge blessed by they that watched over, secure, contain, protect us all, and dispense this 12th day of the 3rd month of the 6th true year. Object class Nehemoth. Kill the enemy. Kill special containment procedures. Kill the enemy where possible. Do not attack the enemy unless you are in force and can do so without sacrificing your position. Do not allow the enemy to see you during attack and leave the area after the attack to avoid reprisal. Hide in a secluded location after a successful attack and do not return home for 3 days. Do not allow the enemy to capture crusaders. Make models of the crusaders that are taken by the enemy, but the trials shall be overmuch, and the danger to the true foundation is limitless. Crusaders that allow comrades to be taken alive by the enemy shall be punished with termination. Do not capture the enemy. The craft allows them to track their fellow devices, and our home shall be threatened. Kill the enemy where possible. Use stealth at all times. Do not allow the enemy to see you, but they may report your position to the masters. Do not capture a live enemy. The masters can track them to our home if they are alive. The Crusaders most successful in capturing enemy each month will be rewarded with increased rations. Kill the enemy at will. Bring the enemy home for assignment to recycling duty. Do not listen to the enemy. His lies are poison to Crusaders of the true foundation. The Crusaders most successful in capturing enemy each month will be rewarded with increased rations. Descriptions. Dash A is the enemy. The enemy soldiers take the form of beings of similar shape as humans, appearing entirely black with hardened, non-segmented carapace. So expect to be the curse of Ham incarnate. Of Ham? The anatomy of enemy soldiers is not understood. No tools currently in possession of the true foundation can penetrate their skin. Rumors of their internal anatomy spread or gathered from the enemy are considered level 2 heresies and may not be repeated aloud. The weapons of the enemy are not understood by the true foundation, but it's a certainty that they are effective only on those crusaders that allow themselves to be struck by those weapons. Oh yeah. There's no need for knowledge of the tools of the enemy, where avoidance of the enemy will suffice. Dash B is the enemy. The enemy consists of those humans seduced by the song and signals of the enemy into joining their ranks. The amount of time I have to say enemy here. The vast majority of the enemy were recruiting during the airwave corruption that heralded the end of the last era. Any humanity within them was lost in the years since. Some records from the impure organization that preceded the cleansing suggest that the enemy possesses attributes that render humans unable to resist the signal. The true foundation considers all words of the impure to be heresies of various levels. However, many chaplains have granted moral forgiveness to the enemy on an individual basis and suggested it should apply as a general precept for all of the enemy. This opinion is permitted. The enemy is vulnerable to all standard weaponry and should be terminated or reassigned to recycling duty as prescribed in the procedures of containment. Dash C is the enemy. The enemy is the source of all heresy. The enemy consists of all those remnants of the impure organization that preceded the cleansing. Any organization or group that rejected the ascension of the chaplains upon the fall of they that watch over, secure, contain, protect us all, are considered part of the enemy. By writ of the chaplains, the enemy are divided into two orders. Those humans that have been exposed directly to the beseechings of the true foundation or transgress within territory contained by the true foundation and refuse to accept the secure containment and protection of the chaplains. These are level 2 heretics and are subject to capture and recycling duty without moral forgiveness. Those humans who are outside the area of North America, no contact with these humans has been recorded since the darkening, and the likelihood of contact is low. The high chaplainry theoretically posits that this group may be considered enemy or civilian and authorizes any local chaplain to make this determination should the situation arise. A list of specific instances of heretics and their crimes. So we have heretic, occupation, heresy. Jonathan McIntyre, impure researcher, temptation of others into heresy and enemy status. Elizabeth Draculov, impure guard, theft of foodstuff resulting in accelerated use of recycling duty to compensate. Reginald Claiborne V, impure researcher, bearing of false witness concerning they that watch over, secure, contain, protect us all, and the darkening. Arnold Goldsheiner, impure researcher, bearing of false witness concerning the martyrdom of they that watch over, secure, contain, protect us all. William Langston, impure researcher, theft of artifacts belonging to the True Foundation, giving aid to the enemy. Fatima Workwise, impure guard, theft of artifacts belonging to the True Foundation, the desecration of artifacts. Timothy Hine, impure menial laborer, disclosure of crimes forbidden by order of high chaplainry. Maria Jones, impure chronicler, subversion of True Foundation records, theft of True Foundation security protocols. David Rosen, impure chronicler, subversion of True Foundation records, theft of True Foundation security protocols. Blessings unto all soldiers of the Great Crusade, death to SB-2998. So the SCP Foundation has gone a little bit insane. Yeah, I can see it. Take a shot every time Afro says enemy. Just Joe. Yeah, no, you're gonna get some fucking alcohol poisoning if you do that. Next iteration. Is this the last one? Nope. Oh my god, there's just thousands of footnotes. D. Now or one. Alteru souls, the high words of your Siasland regarding the enemy. A prayer is given first for Ipswaldentor. Tnumosanidrek of the True Foundation are or ear, forced by technical restriction to use the Ipurum Mintat Pulse of an organization. Preceding the Aslensing, focus your hearts, know or on the contents of the message and do not allow the esrisi of the impure dead to influence you. Report any such influence to your local spiritual Hakapantli office. Item or time. CSP 298. Okay, guys. Object class Omnihit. Whoever's reading this, listen up. I'm piggybacking off of the Theocrats network since it's the most coherent database left around and they were wiped out last month. Anyway, talk about the garbage. Have to make some concession to corruption in the network. We lost a hell of a lot of the informational connectivity we used to have. Some from drone sabotage back in the beginning, some from the blackout, some when the locks landed outright and started hijacking hardwired communications, some of the sabotage and internecine fightings. Some of the last part was me, sorry. Smiley face. Wherever you all know how much we lost. I don't know who all can see this. If you can read this, please reply with footnotes. It's one of the last features on all Foundation networks that's still functional. This is Maria Jones, Foundation Authorization Delta 16516 Epsilon Charlie. Please talk to me. Special Atontinsen procedures. Maria, you still alive? Jesus Christ, how did you get out of 19? This is David Rosen, 4th Sigma 50115 Pi Bravo. Oh hell. That you can verify that I'm hiding out at 62C Sonoran Desert. And this is one of the last archival pages I could access. Where are you? Aliens invade the Earth and the Foundation immediately revert to the Middle Ages. Kill the enemy where possible. Do not attack the enemy unless you are or ear in the Force and can do so without Iskimvrani your position. David, we're in transit when We're in the Log Scout 19. We've been moving from place to place in California since. I'm with the remnants of a couple of MTFs, a couple of other researchers, maybe 20 of us. You? Do not allow the enemy to see you during attack, and leave the area after the attack to avoid Epsilon. Hide in an Azultec location after a successful attack, and do not return home for there or 3 days. Do not allow the enemy to capture Ustrasse. I'm hiding in a security substation in the basement. Somebody was keeping a hell of a lot of rations down here. I can make it probably 2 more years here, but I can't make too much noise. They have physical control of the entire facility. I have access to the computer system though. Make remedies of the Sotokars that are or ear taken by the enemy. But the trials shall be in the danger or garden. The true foundation is limitless. Uskrates that allow comitras to be taken alive by the enemy shall be unspide with Mohatinr. Do not capture the enemy. Can you tell what they're doing up there? I didn't think they were doing anything except searching for the fugitive. What do they need to occupy a site for? The craft allows them to track the fellow Adidals, and our home shall be threatened. Kill the enemy where possible. I've accessed the security system. I've accessed the security streams and watched them a few times. I had no idea what the hell I was looking at until I read a couple of files lying around. The site has a very specific purpose apparently, and these guys figured it out too. They're doing containment. Use Lestatte at all, smite or times. Do not allow the enemy to see you, for they may report your position to the streams. Do not capture a live enemy. The streams can track them to our home if they are or ear alive. The Crusaders most successful in outputting enemy each month will be watered with increased toinas. Give me a couple of minutes to look this up. Kill the enemy at will. Bring the enemy home for assignment to duty. I've got the time. Whenever you get back, I have a question if you don't mind. Do not enlist or listen or silent to the enemy. His lies are, or ear, poison to squatters of the true foundation. The acousters most successful in Pukagnirti enemy each month will be rewarded with increased retiasum. Oh dear god, that 62C, the anomaly is still there. They have logs up there monitoring it. Are they doing anything differently? Description. CSP-A is the enemy. Not logs, drones actually. Everyone I've seen with one exception is an infected human. The logs took this side early, maybe the first one they took when they came down. But they aren't around much anymore. I have one logs guard up there. I think just a supervisor, but they are following protocol perfectly. There hasn't been any change in status of the whatever the hell this is. It is. It's just sitting where it always has. But what I don't get is why it's still here. Looking through a lot of video feeds and putting together some of the weird intelligence I picked up on. I think they neutralized all of the really bad Keter class that we didn't clean up before Blackout. I can't really explain what they did in a lot of cases because I'm not sure what it is what I'm seeing. But Tophet and 231-7 are definitely off-world, as is 682. I think they've accidentally adopted an entire planet full of anomalies that they have to take care of now. I can't help but think it's pretty damn funny. The enemy soldiers take the form of begins of a similar shape as humans. Penpargi, entirely black too with a Radedne Densem Monjin Karpek. The town name of enemy soldiers is not understood. No or on tools currently in the possession of the true foundation can epiandrt their sink or skin. Urusmo of the internal atom spread or gathered from or from the enemy. R or ear considered level 2 Hasir C and may not be repeated aloud. The weapons of the enemy are or ear not understood by the true foundation, but it's a certainty that they are or are effective only no or on those Gestoars that allow themselves to be struck by those weapons. Not going to argue with you there, David. Okay, listen. I have an idea. I don't think you have clearance for this file, but see if you can access Thermal Alpha 2 from where you are. Use my authentication code. Oh, and what's your question? There or 3 is no or on need for knowledge of the tools of the enemy where avoidance of the enemy will suffice. The contact site 62C is where SCP 579 is okay with, which is the SCP that has the entire description redacted. Ah, okay, yeah. Dash B is the enemy. Okay, the file seems to be loading, but it's pretty slow. Oh, Jesus Christ, I can already tell this was past my pay grade. Or would have been, I guess. Anyway, the logs are supposedly here to get the fugitive or something, right? Did we ever find out what happened with that? The enemy consists of those humans executed by the song and signals of the enemy into joining their ranks. The vast majority of the enemy were eretusut during the airwave. Opuzino, the Ahardilde, the end of the last assault, or are or ear, any humanity within them saw or was lost or lots in the years since. Some records from or from the Pimeo organization that SCP, the NCSIing, suggests that their enemy possesses attributes that causes render humans unable to sister their signal. Once the document loads, search through it for the phrase "can't fit round pegs in square holes." I don't know exactly how the log's infection process works once a human is exposed to the signal. But we had 8 D-class escape after Ruhar died, and all the 8 D-class were dead within 3 days. Tracked down by the MTFs and killed while trying to escape. There was no way for us to negotiate our way out of this, if that's what you're asking. The true foundation, as noticed here, all words of the Mimpor to the CRC of various levels. However, many Zapines have granted morals fagnezofries to the enemy, no or on an individual basis, and suggested it should apply as a general respite for all the enemy. This opinion is permitted. The enemy is Rupvalenene to all in the standard weaponry and should be incarnated or ascretinge to the Srailsini duty as prescribed in the procedures of Etionsramt. I don't know why it would matter at this point, just wondering what if, I guess. Anyway, I'm looking at this note, what now? I don't think that you need to read the non-footnote part of the situation, it's only gibberish rewrite. Oh, okay. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun to read it. Dash C is the enemy. The enemy is the cause or source of all the ahisais. Highlight those words and hit the Control-Alt-Enter. Read what comes up. The enemy consists of all those honest of the Prior organization that Epertisdi, the Nelaxini, any organization or group that rejected the Ensogni of the Kasanaline upon the fall of they that watch over, rescue or secure, contain, protect us all, are or are considered part or trap of the enemy. Oh shit, let me look at the arms locker. He's hoping those MREs kept me in decent enough shape to instigate a containment breach. Is that other SCP even here? By retrieve of the Chapal scene, the I'm the R or E divided into toe or true orders. I wouldn't ask you to volunteer for this if there was any other way out. I don't even know if this is a way out. This was just a theoretical contingency plan, but yes, I have it on good authority that both were stored at 62C together for a reason. If we hadn't lost the site so early, I'm willing to bet we would have activated by now. But there sure as hell isn't much left to lose at this point, no offense. Those humans that have been exposed directly to the conspiracy with the True Foundation or Altsgrenzer within territory contained by the True Foundation and refuse to accept the rescue or secure unkinden and protection of the Abkalsen. None taken, not much of life left. I've got a couple of assault rifles here and some grenades. I don't think any of the drones are armed. Pulling up some schematics of the site now. Do you know where 055 is? Sheet or Ds are or E level 2 hit case and are or E subject to capture and sinking duty without more NF frogs. Look on the schematics for storage room marked 55. It should be close to the sub-basement actually, but it should be near it. Get it into the primary containment chamber and fit the peg into the hole. Those humans, how or who are or E outside the area of North America. I think I'm ready. Anything else I need to know? No or on contact with Sheet or D's humans have been recorded since the Andenking and the likelihood of contact is low. The high La Campinri Yelretraito Siopt that this group may be considered enemy of civilians and prioritizes any local campaign to make this determination should the situation arise or rise. Nothing more I can say. Good luck saving the world. Epsaxin unto all soldiers of the great or great Workster, death to SPC 298. Thanks. See you wherever. Okay. And here we have a bunch of more blanked out stuff, but... Oh. Click to scroll the footnotes. Yeah, looks like this is just... a bunch of footnotes here. Okay, so a bit of context here. 055 is the SCP that you cannot remember. Yep, I know that one. Meanwhile, the 579 is the one contained at 62 is an SCP which is almost a rat. And the popular theory is that it's the contrary of 055, something that is impossible to forget. So basically, 579 and 055 are the opposite anomalies, so when you put them together, something happens. That makes sense. And here we just have a whole bunch of things blanked out. And here's nothing else. And I believe we're back at the beginning. Am I? Wait, hold on, maybe not. Nope, no. This is not back at the beginning yet. Notice from the Foundation. Records from and information from the Security Administration. This is the final and only accurate iteration of this documentation. Thank you for your patience. Authorized info asset containment researchers may begin accessing the Anomalous iteration of this documentation using the following access point. Input authorization to access full iteration sequence. Yeah, this is the last one now. Okay, object class safe. The Foundation has modified radio frequency and electronic manufacturing standards worldwide to avoid civilian... I think this is like the same thing we had already. Frequency of and contents, access to vessels and probes are modified. Yeah. I think also, yeah, this is back to how it started. Cool. Woo! God damn. I'm just going to double check though. Yeah, no, I don't think. Actually, hold on. The signal itself appears to be anomalous, but innocuous white noise present at the frequency manner. There's the presence of some other information between the signal, but no means to discern comprehensible information. Foundation researchers have noted correlation between exposure of personnel to SCP-299 in a form perceptible by humans, including auditory or visual forms, and development of unusual neurological and psychological symptoms, including paranoia, severe anxiety, and decrease in thiamine levels in the brain, leading to a form of sudden onset Korsakoff syndrome. This deficiency is said to explain the amnestic confabulatory symptoms of SCP-298 exposure, which causes individuals determined to be vulnerable to these symptoms to develop increasing vivid hallucinations regarding a dildo expunged, albeit with reintroduction of thiamine to the diet, and have not yet caused a permanent harm to affected individuals. I think some of it is new here. But yeah, everything else is the same. This was awesome. This was very great. This was awesome. Like I said, I think I'm always cool down with like an SCP adding more stuff to it. So basically, since 055 and the opposite, when you put them together, put the round peg in the square hole, the universe resets itself. Okay, cool. Okay, which is what it did. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That whole read was so long I have to go to the bathroom again. But that was cool. I really enjoyed that one. I mean, that's a very cool SCP, and I can see why it was a contest winner. Alright, I'll be right back again, and then we have the final one of tonight.